Have you noticed this weird new trend on YouTube? Tons of people are making videos along the style of everything I wish I would have learned in my 20s now that I'm in my 30s. Or everything I wish I knew in my 20s now that I'm in my 40s. Or everything I wish... You get the picture. People are making videos about how they wasted their 20s, their 30s, sometimes even their 40s. And am I the only one who thinks that's really weird? Just like really, really weird.
Yeah. Weird.
First of all, none of you guys went to prison, right? So that's number one. Number two is, what kind of society are we living in when people expect their 20s to be the definition of perfection? If there's anything you should know about people in their 20s, is that they're morons. Because they're in their 20s. Because they don't have the life experience to understand. So that's weird. That's kind of weird.
Yeah. Weird.
You know, expecting basically the phase of your life when you're frog sperm to be perfect swimmer for life. No mistakes whatsoever, really. And another thing is, it makes it really obvious that someone didn't have a present dad in their life. Or maybe they did, and they were just such a pussy they didn't have the balls to talk to him. And ask your parents for advice, because you wanted to do everything by yourself, huh? Mr. Know-It-All? Yeah, no better than my traditional, non-progressive parents who grew up with less than me and yet accomplished more in terms of maturity. Isn't that interesting? Furthermore, whenever you watch these videos, they consist of the kind of typical life advice that you normally find in organized religion. Things like, don't live for money, don't be afraid of embarrassing yourself, don't be afraid of making mistakes, because mistakes means you actually tried doing what you wanted, unlike many other people who have this wanna be perfect in my 20s goal. And don't live for social status. Don't be afraid to make a fool of yourself in front of strangers. Don't live for the affirmation of society. Usually it's these very typical things that you would have learned if you weren't basing your 20s and your 30s spending time with people who are in their 20s and their 30s. Let me tell you what my biggest regret is of how I wasted my 20s and part of my 30s. Then again, I don't want you guys to know my age. I want you to guess and keep guessing. No, I don't. Please don't guess how old I am. Forget me saying that. Anyway, let me tell you how I wasted my life. By hanging out with people my own age. I wasted my life hanging out with people my own age when I should have been hanging out with old people. Because old people usually don't have that pointlessly stupid focus on life. They usually have some life experience you can learn from, some maturity. They usually got rid of those insecurities that make people in their 20s such toxic frog sperm to spend your time around. What are people in their 20s doing other than watching YouTube, using way too many substances, and having too much stranger sex? Stranger danger sex. When I hang out with my dad's older war veteran buddies, I feel a sense of camaraderie and maturity that just warms my fuzzy millennial heart. Something I never experienced hanging out with people my own disgusting age, especially Swedish people who are so emotionally constipated they might as well not be born. Seriously, do you guys remember that skeleton I banged in an art video once? Yeah, I learned more from that skeleton than any Swedish friend I've ever had through life. That skeleton has experienced more of life than your average, sheltered, Western, I don't want to experience anything because what if I fail? Oh, I'll just go to my computer and learn. If you want my advice, go spend time with old people. And don't spend time with people that don't know anything. Always talk about how they don't know anything. Even worse, think they know everything because they learned something in a YouTube video. And they're just going to give you shitty advice, and you'll waste your life not even knowing that it's shitty advice. Then you'll look back on it and be like, why did I hang out with that moron? He's not even... How about that? Thank you for watching.